Hi everyone, and welcome to another segment of AstrologyAnswers.com's weekly horoscope. My name is Terence Scardino. The week begins on Monday, October the 15th. As you know, I've been discussing how relational, fair-minded Venus is retrograde, testing relationships. Now, Venus is also about art and beauty. This would be favorable during Venus in retrograde for performers, for artists to be reviewing and reevaluating their art, their performance. It could even be very favorable if you returned to art, going back to an art class or an art project that you put on the shelf and now you're dusting it off and bringing it back. This is often a time when people might realize, I need a fashion makeover, whether it's your hair, your clothes, etc. So Venus rules a lot of things, not just romance, but that's the big, that's like the number one theme for Venus. Now, as we begin the week on Monday, Venus, that's retrograde, is aligning with communication Mercury. Now, this can actually be a good day, depending on other factors in your individual horoscope, for discussing relationships. Could be a good day for forgiveness, clearing up any misunderstandings. But you know, a lot of you, this might be where with communication Mercury, that you get news or you hear from an old friend, acquaintance or ex from your past. So that could be a nice thing. A friend or an acquaintance is you're just hearing news about, or you're thinking about, or you run into at the grocery store. By Tuesday, now there aren't any major planetary events until Friday, but on Tuesday the sun is in tension with the moon. Now this could trigger a lot of an emotional, that's the moon, uncomfortableness. I like to look at it as it's a day the sun is putting a spotlight on our habits, on our emotional reactiveness. But the relationship between the sun and moon is a bit of a tension, meaning that it might be an uncomfortable day as you're recognizing habits that you need to make some adjustments, pay some attention to these habits. So in the bigger picture, it can actually bring to your attention what you need to change in your own personal life. Then on Wednesday, now the moon is doing the same tension with Venus, that's retrograde. And then, so you might be emotionally kind of insecure or frustrated with a relationship. And that can even carry on into Thursday, when now the moon is aligning with Mars, which will happen just once a month. And Mars is all that passion and impatience. And when the moon Mars, this could trigger a lot of an emotional excitement or emotional stress. And that could be a byproduct of the tension with relationships from Tuesday and Wednesday. Now you thought there's a good chance that you were trying to get it all together with, on Monday, with communication Mercury aligning with Venus. But Venus was in retrograde. And so perhaps with some of you, what you thought you might be getting a handle on it, and you've had a nice discussion, it could then start to unravel and realize that you were only skimming the surface on Monday, and you're seeing Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, that these issues are so much more complicated in relationships, which can also be dealing with business relationships. But by Friday, now Mercury, discerning, intelligent, curious Mercury, is going to be good with Neptune and hard with Mars. Now, the Mercury-Mars can just mean that the mind is quick to make snap judgments, being stressed and heated, impulsive. It could even trigger recklessness and accidents, because Mercury, the planet of communication, is also the planet of transportation. And when it's in hard angle to Mars, there might be a bit of recklessness or impatience, and therefore a fender bender. Hopefully that is all it might be. But there's good news with this Mercury being really stimulated suddenly with new ideas and having to make sudden decisions because of the Mars, because the Mercury is also excellent with Neptune, inspirational, intuitive Neptune, that only happen, this transit only happens twice in a year. This is a good time when there could be this emotional reactiveness very quickly with the Mars, but with the positive Neptune, just trust your intuition, trust your feelings on this. This can also be with Mercury to Neptune that you're getting really inspired with your vision, with your dream. And then with the Mars, you want to take action right away. So you're seeing what's possible, you're seeing the vision, and you're ready to rock and roll and act on it, with the Mars energy. So Mars, this doesn't have to also be, stress. It could trigger passion. Before I sign off, I want to remind you I'm available for the one question offer for a nominal fee. You can see a direct link in the description box underneath the video, where you can easily then request your question. And always the time of birth is really important, and if you could put the birth information with the time of birth in with the question, that'll make sure I have it accurate. I want to thank you for tuning in. I hope to see you next week with my next segment. Until then, have a great week.